The Daily Talk Show.
A conversation sometimes worth recording with Josh Janssen and Tommy Jackett.
It's a Daily Talk Show, episode 231.
Hump day.
Yes.
No, it's not. I just stuffed up.
Tuesday.
I just stuffed up the day and you stuffed up the number before we started this episode.
3:15 p.m. here in Melbourne.
It is.
It is 5:15 p.m. in Fiji.
Is it?
Yeah.
Have you got that on your watch?
No.
No, you don't.
I actually had to look. I spent way too much time then trying to figure out what country.
For our Fijian audience.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's huge there.
And I don't know if you have anyone from Fiji.
Yeah.
I had a win before. I was walking in the street. I just thought we'd start light before we kind of go a bit deeper. Walking along.
Thanks for letting us know.
I was texting while walking, stepped on a piece of dog shit, realised it's like I knew as soon as the texture underneath my foot changed, I stepped and I was like, oh no, look straight. Like I was looking down, but I just looked past my phone. It was a dry piece of dog shit. Nothing stuck to my foot. I thought, I'm having a good day.
It's not much of a win.
It's a win.
I guess it's a win.
I stepped in dog shit and it didn't go on my foot.
The other day, I think there's an actual problem on Easy Street when
Why?
it comes to dog shit.
It's tofu.
Do you
The
reckon?
local famous
Do
dog.
we need to kill the dog?
Tofu Papa. It's look him up. I just looked at the camera.
I thought you weren't going to mention it.
I wasn't going to. We have to now.
We're recording this video. we're recording a video because we thought, why the fuck not?
Yeah.
We had Mason, Mr. 97 here, and we thought, we've got the cameras.
Yeah.
We have all of this shit. Why aren't we using it?
Yes. We are a production company, but we've never filmed an episode of our own. We filmed bits and pieces.
Does it feel different?
It feels so different.
Yeah.
We actually spoke about this. So this is our office that you're seeing. I'll look at the camera. This is our office that you're kind of seeing.
Yeah.
And we're going to be live streaming from here. But it is such another element.
You were saying to me that like I shouldn't wear headphones, and
No.
I just feel completely out of place with the whole thing.
There has to be some. How many episodes would it be for us to actually get in the groove?
10.
10 episodes?
I reckon 2 weeks of us doing this all the
Yeah.
time. But what we'll talk, because don't you feel the tendency that you want to look at the camera?
Definitely.
I just feel like I feel so much more comfortable right now.
Yeah.
If I won't. But that's how I feel.
100%. But maybe because that's all the time that we've done anything that's with the camera, it's usually
Down the
directed down the barrel and
Well,
you're talking to somebody.
What you were saying to me is what I wanted to do for the live stream was to be actually in charge of pressing the button, switching the cameras.
Definitely not.
You don't think I can do it?
No chance. It would be so... Like, think about you now having to switch back to yourself when you want to talk. So you're thinking about the button. You probably disconnect with me. He's back on him.
Yeah. I'm just
Jeez.
if you're not watching this visually, I just did
He's
a bit
back
of
on
a
me.
flick.
He's back on you.
I think it'd be easy. So right now I'd be on you.
Nah, I actually want you to be in the conversation.
On me. Yeah, I know.
Far.
It's hard.
Back on me. I want you to be in the conversation
No, I
because it's
get it.
easy. Like I even feel like with the video, I have to lock eyes with you more. Not that we do this podcast looking away from each other,
Yeah.
but there is a relaxed element. I don't know. We'll get used to it.
So with the live stream thing, can we actually just talk a sec about what we can commit to with the live stream? What do you think that so we've got our mate Shawnee who is organising for us a podcast desk.
Yes.
We're calling it the plectrum.
Well, it's the shape of a plectrum.
Which is a guitar pick.
Yeah, guitar pick. Not that I've ever used one,
Yeah.
but it's a good shape. It's the Seth Godin podcast desk shape.
Yeah, it's sort of a triangular thing, but the idea is that we can, it would be equal power across every corner. So it's not like you got a head of a table where it feels like someone's sort of controlling the conversation.
Yeah.
I did have a sneaky conversation with Sean and asked for an extra $1 on my side, just for a little bit of a power play.
I love it then if I engraved my name on that side of the desk. No, there's no engraving on the desk. But it's another element. Even having our own table, because this table that we're at right now, if you're listening, just go on to our Reddit where we'll post this video.
Okay. Or can we do it on our YouTube channel?
Yeah, we can do it on our YouTube channel.
Right, let's do that.
And watch it. And this table, this is just like a random sort of co-work space that we have here in the office. So it'll be different to have our own. It'll become like a safe space, I think.
Yeah, bit of a character.
Once we've done a bunch of episodes.
I do feel very similar to how I felt with Matt D'Avalla's podcast. Do you get the same sort of feeling?
Yeah, definitely. Because what I found was you have to make more eye contact.
Yeah.
It's not that you have. I mean, you make eye contact anyway, but you have to think about the eye contact because you can't look off to the camera. Like you can't give the sneaky camera look.
Did you feel when you watched it back? Do you notice anything when you look at yourself around? Oh, I don't like this about myself, or I'm going to do this more.
Nah, I've looked at myself enough on video.
Yeah,
so I've kind of got past that.
Because you say I do some things.
Yeah, you've got if you hold a phone up in your hand and there's your forehead turns into.
I think it's because I got little eyes.
A drought-stricken ground.
Well, because I've got little eyes.
Do you?
Anytime someone, yeah, absolutely. Like you take my glasses off, everyone like gets
look down the barrel of the camera now.
Yeah, people get real freaked out by it. But it
wouldn't be one thing I'd say, Josh.
You got little eyes.
This is my mate Josh. He's got little eyes.
Yeah, I feel like I've got more to offer. But no, I think that maybe when I go smile for a photo, I like.
Yeah,
you can't really trust someone who's got little eyes.
Yeah, but then what we're talking about is,
and I don't have big eyes.
The perception of ourselves, which isn't always the truth for somebody else.
Yeah,
because I can sort of look and see the things on my face.
What are you looking at? So for me, the insecurity. If I could look shit, I could have terrible hair.
Yeah,
but as long as I don't look fat, I'm fine.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have that. I've never thought that I've never looked at this, so I can't relate to that. What if I had bad skin? That's probably the worst one. I noticed that I kept doing this. I'm like scrunching up my forehead, and I wasn't willing to have Botox. Not that I thought about that. Yeah. So I stopped that. I just
during the show?
No.
Oh no, just in life.
Yeah, in life. Yeah. No, I think I was okay in the show.
But we've discussed it before, but I've got, for some reason over the last year and a half, my eyes have begun to do some weird twitchy stuff.
Yeah, I tell you to stop winking at me.
Do you think that's an actual problem? Do you think I've got like a mild form of Tourette's?
Definitely not. I think it's some kind of lacking in vitamin based around your diet. If I was to put money on it,
like what? Like I just need to eat more oranges?
Be something. No, I wouldn't even. I'm not going to say. I don't know.
No, well, what do you don't?
I'm not going to say because I don't know.
Well, you're saying it like I'm not going to say because it's
no.
Which vitamin is it?
Magnesium.
Do you think?
I don't know. Let me just quickly search this up.
What are you going to search?
What?
He's using Siri.
Siri's not available. Yeah, this is
don't.
This is a bad idea.
So is it sticky eye? Is that what we need to? Mr. 97, can you have a look for sticky eye?
You've got a twitch. Eye twitch.
Is it dry
symptoms?
eyes?
Maybe. That's a good one.
Dry eyes is dry eye doesn't sound. Dry eye sounds about as good as a toe ingrown toe.
All right, here we go. Eyelid twitching may be triggered by alcohol intake. No, because you don't drink. Bright light. It's pretty bright.
I reckon it probably is that.
It's pretty bright.
Can you see my eye doing weird stuff now?
This one might be it. Caffeine excess. So it could be because you're punching three strong lattes a day. Fatigue, I think it's a part of that too.
I think it's right, the caffeine consumption, because the other thing, we get a special deal being down at the coffee shop downstairs because we're in the building.
Yeah.
And what I discovered is I thought it was a bargain that a strong flat white costs the same as a normal flat white.
Yeah, $3. It is. Yeah. It's old school coffee prices.
With almond milk.
Yeah.
And so I've been having like a lot of double, what do they call, like strong coffees.
Yeah, it's strong coffee. Are you stressed at all? You're not smoking. That was one of the others.
No, I think it's definitely the caffeine thing.
Physical exertion.
How do you feel about me just going off? Like now that I'm retired from social media, retiring from coffee. I only did it for 3 years. I started late. I was like 25 when I started drinking coffee.
But the addiction's running deep. You're really addicted.
It's social.
Yeah, it is a hard one because you want it. Like if we go for a meeting, you don't want to be the hot chocolate guy.
I can't be that guy, can I?
You were that guy.
I can be that guy.
Yeah,
I was that guy.
But which guy do you want to be?
Well, I don't know if I can be that. I think there's something. I know Mr. 97 has hot chocolates, but there is something a bit pathetic about the hot chocolate guy. Don't you think?
Yeah, there's something pathetic about Mr. 97.
Do you know what I was? This is like slightly dark, but when I was giving Mr. 97 his hot chocolate, for whatever reason, when I gave it to him, I was reminded of hot chocolate rapist.
Oh God.
Do you remember this thing?
No. Who's?
It was a guy who was spiking hot chocolates.
Okay.
But the problem was that it was just my timing of bringing that up was as I gave Mason. And so I said, no, it was really a thing.
Yeah.
And so Mason's like Googling and he was like, oh yeah, the guy got 12 years.
Was he in Melbourne?
And was he in Melbourne? I think he was. Surely if he was in Melbourne, he would have been the coffee.
What is it? What's the Melbourne coffee?
The cold brew
Magic.
rapist.
It's a very Melbourne coffee.
No, but I did feel a little bit uncomfortable because he was Googling all of this stuff, learning about it, just slowly drinking his hot chocolate.
Yeah. And he passed out by the end of it. No, he didn't.
I was really into the crime channels when I was younger.
See, this is the problem. I didn't have Foxtel, so that's because either I missed out on them.
There was a channel.
It was on Foxtel,
and because I just remember specific things, and one of the things I remember is there were this couple that would get into murdering, and they'd be driving along, and when they'd pick someone up, and then they would say, if they were going to murder the person, they would say, "Oh, I've got the munchies. Have you got the munchies, love?" And they'll be like, yeah, I've got that was code to you're going to fucking kill the person.
That's horrible.
So I feel like I'm triggered time someone says, oh, I've got the munchies.
Yeah.
I straight away think of murdering.
I mean, they were either stoners as well as murderers.
Is munchies specifically based on doing pot and then feeling like food?
Yeah, you get extremely hungry.
But can I have the munchies without doing weed?
Definitely, but I think it's a result of smoking weed.
That you get more likely to.
Yeah, you get super hungry and then things taste unbelievable. So that's where that's come from.
But this whole resurgence of crime stuff, I don't know if this is because of podcasting. I don't know if this is just specifically in Australia, but I guess they had Serial.
Yeah.
And I got right into that. But I just don't know if I can do these long... Like I was listening to Michelle Laurie's Australian true crime show. And what I liked about it was it wasn't just a whole story. I thought it was going to be one of the ones like Serial where you enter in and you have to... All of a sudden you're investing like 6 hours a week to follow along whether Adnan killed the chick or not.
And we still don't know. That's
But are you consuming this stuff? Or
no, I've listened to Michelle Laurie's podcast and I like it. Because I remember I was into it as a kid, not because I watched Foxtel, but because I used to speak to this guy who was like a security guard at the private school I went to.
How many murders is he seeing?
No, he was a part of the special operations group.
This sounds like a bullshit story made up
no,
by a security
100%.
guard.
Dr. Drew. Mr. Drew, his name was.
Dr. Drew.
No, not Dr. Drew. Mr. Drew. And here's the problem with Mr. Drew.
Mr. Drew was a compulsive liar who managed to get a job at Chubb Security.
No, 100% he was in the special operations group.
Yeah, so was I.
I've met people since that have known him.
Dr. Drew. Mr. Drew.
Mr. Drew. He's not a doctor. Anyway, he used to tell us because the gangland murders were happening at the time that I was probably year 9.
Yeah.
And this was when the different gangs in Melbourne were all killing each other. And so we would ask him questions because he spent time like in the force fighting this stuff and he had info. And so Chopper Reed was huge when I was a kid.
And then he went from doing that to being in a security car outside Wesley.
No, it wasn't a security car. He was he used to investigate when kids would steal laptops and he'd find all the clues. It was
at a school.
I know. He was forceful in his approach.
Well, you had a security guard at your school?
Yeah, 100%. It's a private school. There's lots of money, lots of kids with money.
Because I've got friends who are doing all right, and they security was a reason. Because I said, "Oh, you're sending them to?" I was like, "Public's good," or that sort of thing, and they're like, "No, it's actually security. The school was able to provide all these X, Y, and Z. It's got high fencing, all that." I just thought it was absolutely crazy.
There's no... so what happens when there's laptops around, there's young pubescent children, probably the boys stealing all the laptops. It was happening. Shit went missing. And so they needed someone to make sure that it was all above board.
What do you reckon he's on?
I don't even know if he'd be there. Could be retired by now, but he could have been on 80 grand.
80K package.
Yeah.
He's just in the staff room.
No gun.
He's a fucking Wesley.
The point is he's not going to get murdered, so he's making $80,000 with less risk of dying on the, out in the field.
Do you know what sort of shit he was dealing with internally? So there was laptops. What else?
Just shit going missing. He pulled me aside a bunch of times. He used to have this firm handshake where he would just squeeze your hand, and he used to.
Do you think there's something like?
Yeah, it was
not to
weird.
bring out the bikey thing again, but there's something a little bit pathetic about it.
I think more
it's like a mall cop.
Yeah, he's basically a mall cop. But he's
a blazer off having like a Westfield logo.
I think what he loved about it was that he was like all the young kids were interested in his stories, and he'd just go to school. I don't know how much was an act because he was really sort of stern with the naughty kids. Did he have a uniform? He used to wear a crummy suit. He was pretty much. You don't know this guy, Liam Neeson, who was in.
I do know Taken.
From Taken. He had that vibe, but I don't know. He talked like he was Liam Neeson,
or like Alec Baldwin or something. Is there a big
Alec
difference?
Baldwin's in Mission Impossible. So I'm talking about the character that they play.
Okay.
The character they play was what he was. He was like a character. This dude at the school who he'd always fucking pop up. There he is, just walking around.
And what would he say to you?
Yeah, g'day boys. Not much. He'd just be kind of looking for things. He like interrogated me once.
What about bullying? Would he jump in when it comes to bullying?
Yeah, fights, all of this stuff. Like he would be trying to keep it in line.
So if there was kids being bullied on social media,
wasn't around then.
So let's just pretend that it's 2018 and you're still in school. Would he have been like, mate, show me your phone. I want to see the Facebook messages.
I could imagine him getting you in a room and saying, we need to see your phone.
Do you think that we could get him on the podcast?
I can get someone that I know knows him. So this guy
on the podcast, I'm not interested in speaking to the mate of the security guard.
I don't know what he'd be doing. He would be old. Like when he was there, he was 55, and so I reckon he'd be close to 70 now.
Do you know if there are any do schools have cold cases?
What do you mean?
I mean, has he got a case from like 15 years ago where something happened? Not like fucking deaths or anything, but shit where it's like the case from 1997 that he had on his files from all the other security guards.
I just wonder the sort of inner workings. Did he keep notes? Was he I can't remember him taking notes, but he used to sort of I think you probably weren't involved in the trouble in schools. So were you?
I was the SRC president.
Yeah, 100%. So you have no idea of the shit kids get up to.
Well, no, I was
stealing laptops, orgies, or drug dealing. Like kids are doing this shit. Bullshit, man. Kids are doing it.
Kids are doing orgies.
Three-way kissing. That's what he called it. No, he didn't. But seriously, he was like on the case. Graffiti. So like around the school, if some kid did graffiti, he'd be sniffing out, interrogating kids to find out who's writing, JJ on the walls. It's pretty clear who it was. It wasn't. It was you.
So where did he have his own office?
Oh, fuck, I can't remember.
He would have had Venetian blinds. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Spends all his time just trying to fucking how that's really hard sometimes. They don't all move at the same time.
No, I don't know.
I could just imagine it like a noir film. That's sort of the style.
Yeah.
A lot of cigar. For whatever reason, he was able to smoke in his room.
He was a really hard dude.
I can't see the connection between a hard dude and the security guard at a high school.
Yeah. It's probably what he's battled with his whole career.
Well, just think about the security guard. I always get blown away in the US of how many people have uniforms.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about UPS. Why don't couriers in Australia wear uniforms? They're all high vis. I want to see
high vis,
beautiful, well ironed, khaki, short shorts.
I know you do. UPS, that ugly brown colour though.
I like that.
Why?
I think there's something maybe it's Americana about it.
Yeah.
But I just like that sort of, and they've got the door off. They've got a big, big. They're nothing like you've seen. They look like toy trucks.
Doesn't Australia Post have some kind of uniform? I don't know. Maybe there's a pushback from it to give people some more freedom.
Do we just not have the pride in our work?
It creates a very structured way of sort of operating.
Because you would see people in the States where you're like, these people must be cops. And it turns out that they just They work at the
security
council.
guards. There's lots of like private security though with guns.
Yeah.
And so they're carrying guns, and so you wouldn't be able to tell what they are. It's like those train officers now that are in
the
Melbourne.
PSO,
They look 100%
Well,
like
they
cops.
are basically cops, aren't they?
They've got guns on them. So I mean, yeah, they're sorting shit out. But yeah, I don't think we could get this guy into the podcast.
Okay, that's all right because he's that sort of.
Nah, I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. I understand.
I wouldn't want to speak to him personally.
Because do you have sort of bad memories of the whole thing?
Yeah, he got me in a fair bit of trouble.
Or did you get yourself in a fair bit of trouble?
I mean, I got caught for the crimes.
What did you actually do?
Nah, nothing
Tell me the
much.
worst crime.
Nah, nothing.
Actually.
I'm actually not going there. There's just stupid little petty shit. Nothing. I wasn't stealing laptops.
It's okay. You can repent. Is that too religious? Repent?
It was like traveling on trains.
Be honest.
Causing a ruckus. That's what I'm saying. But I'm not going to go. I'm not.
Just tell me one that you're like actually
traveling on a train and
that you're ashamed about.
Happened. Traveling on a train, incident happened, and somehow we fucking found out about it.
What was the incident?
You're not getting there. I'm not actually talking about it. It's irrelevant to the situation. But so yeah. Anyway, he's not coming.
No, you can tell me. No, what actually? No, I know you're not proud of it.
It is 100%
part of your story
blown out of proportion.
Okay, well, you just tell me
and
your version of it.
And you're only getting into this because the cameras are on. You're putting on a show. 100%. 100%.
I'll double down on it then.
Nah.
Is it really that bad?
No, that's why it's irrelevant.
So,
but you asked me, have I been in trouble from him?
If it's
and
not
I
that
said
bad,
yes.
If it's not that bad, just say it then.
But it's not relevant to this situation.
Okay.
So
you were on the train.
Something happened. I actually didn't do the thing on the train, and so someone
pissed or something.
Something happened, and then he was interrogating everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. Not talking about it.
Okay. I was
but you definitely doubled downing on it because
of the cameras.
The video, the fucking
you know
cameras
that fucking disables me. It's like when mum says I'm showing off.
Yeah.
It's the quickest way to
100%
disable it. You're showing off.
You're showing off. But I think there's some merit to it in some circumstances.
I get it. A lot of drama happening in Rowville at the moment.
Really?
Yeah.
At the house?
Not specifically at the house. This time at one of the local cafes. Bree, feel free to come in. No worries at all. Sorry about the squeaking, everyone. No, big drama because one of the local cafes has changed ownership.
Ooh.
Which I don't really care that much.
But hang on, who goes there and is it...
I go there.
Yeah.
It's become my local. I'll say it. My local's in Rowville. That's cool. I'm a Rowville guy.
You live in Rowville,
I live
mate.
in Rowville. Vic Roads don't know that, but I live in Rowville. I need to update that. Did I tell that story? Did I mention the fact that you can't if you've got a redirect set up on your so say I used to live on a street. I don't live there anymore, but I've got a redirect of that mail to my PO box. Because I'm sort of a little bit homeless, I mean, I'm living at my parents', but it's not going to be for long. I just use my old address to send the new license. They don't honour redirects. So they've sent it to the place and I can't have access to it. I think I may have mentioned it.
The only similarity between you being homeless and living at your parents is that homeless people don't pay to live on the street and you don't pay to live at home.
That's very true.
There's the only similarity.
Although we did buy, what did we buy? Some milk?
Yeah.
And some self-raising flour.
You were helping out around the house?
Mum gave us a pineapple. I'm like, Mum, keep your money. Pineapple being the $50 note.
Yes.
But anyway, so no, the drama is around this cafe sent a text message to let everyone know that there's new owners.
The new people sent the text message? That's not a bad idea. If they had a mailing list, how the fuck do they have your number?
Yeah, well, so it came to my mum.
Okay.
There's only one problem. What do you think one problem would be what would the classic fuck up be for a local cafe doing something like that?
That they completely changed what the previous cafe did?
No. Specifically around the communications.
Okay. What do you mean? Like,
I just fucking tell you. They sent it as a group message. So 150 people all had each other's numbers.
On a text message?
Yeah.
You can mute the call. Can you opt out of it?
I don't know, but someone was saying, like, you fucked up. You've just sent this to every single person.
No.
What would you do with that? What are some creative ways? What are some things that we could do?
Nothing, because you can't see you can't see who's connected to it. It's different to an email because you use your name.
Are you sure you can't see?
No, as if you could see. So I'm on a few group messages in my iPhone.
Yeah,
and 100%. You can't.
If it's not iMessage, if it's just
We did it the other day. So info, you can't see. So if you don't have them as a contact,
I need to work it out because Mum told us about it. And
okay,
so
here's where they might have. Some of them might have been on iMessage, and then the email.
All their
emails attached to it.
Because Mum got the response back from someone else.
Yeah.
And based on your sort of rationale, you wouldn't be able to see that. If you couldn't see the text, you couldn't reply to a group if you couldn't see the numbers.
No, you just press info and it drops down the whole list of the people attached to this group message. And so then it shows you in a list format.
With their phone number?
With their phone number.
I thought you just said you couldn't see the phone numbers.
No, I said you can see the phone number. You can't see their name or anything. And sometimes...
Oh, yeah, you can see the phone number though, but that's all you need.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't do anything with that list. There's
Absolutely.
nothing really...
I know that they're all from Rowville now.
Okay, so you're saying you could set up another business?
I could literally say we are doing Donut King in Rowville, the daily talk show, and I text them all, knowing that they're all a hot lead because they live in Rowville.
So free coffee, because you know they like coffee. We've got a coffee van, and we're doing free coffee near this cafe, and we're also doing the
free
podcast.
Stickers.
And we can assure you that we're filming it and Josh will be showing off. His eye will be twitching because he's drank so many coffees.
Did you see the Twitch?
No, I didn't. Did you?
Okay.
Did it happen?
It's been happening.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Anything else happening? Anything else going on?
Mate, it's...
I've got one other bit of note. This is great. The getting into the camera. So the filming thing.
Yes.
Streaming. We're going to be streaming at some point. Next year we'll be streaming every episode at some point.
So I think... the tweaked version of what you start thinking about when you're being filmed and whether you bring up any of that, like whether you're uncomfortable. It's like you oversee a bunch of this stuff, and I don't feel like I think about this shit when I'm.
Well, I definitely don't think about my notes. I've already like you even looked at my notes before.
I was like, what the fuck is that?
Is Josh sending me a message? I sort of pushed it forward just so I could.
I feel like I'm a new business owner meeting with my accountant.
I got that vibe.
For the first time, where you've got a ballpoint pen.
This is new.
Felt pen.
I'll explain why I have this. I have an airline.
Because you use it for writing.
Line. Yeah, but do you know what I've been writing?
What?
An entire book.
Yeah, I know. This is. I actually. I don't want to push back on your idea. Do it. Go for it. Mm-hmm. I just don't know how effective it's going to be for you.
So I was reading a book that was about direct marketing, and they were saying that there's a benefit in reading, like rewriting the best sales letters in the world to become a better writer. Yeah. So then I thought, what about, I got This Is Marketing, Seth Godin's new book. And I was like, well, I love Seth's writing. What about if I just rewrite his whole book?
It's crazy. Let me just see. How many pages?
Well,
lighter than I thought.
Because it's so slow.
You're not going to write the acknowledgements at the end, are you?
Well, I made the mistake of starting at the preface.
255 pages.
It's going to take me a while. I started hurting my back on the weekend doing it. But
how do you hurt your back while writing?
Because it's just like a bit of an awkward position because you've got to work out how to keep the book open while you're writing. It's not that easy. But I can't. I always normally write in capitals, and it just makes no sense to write an entire book in capitals.
Nah.
So I was trying to write joint handwriting.
So the evolution of this, for people who haven't listened, is that you've gone from using a pencil, and that's your latest thing, to underlining within a book, to writing the whole book. Should we just stick at the pencil?
Well, I think the pencil thing is more effective because I ended up going back after this weekend and started reading the book and using the pencil because I didn't have time to be switching between the art line and the pencil.
Yeah. So you then focus on the writing and not the actual absorption of the information.
It'll be interesting to see what it's doing. But
I want you to do it. I want you to finish it.
Yeah. It'd be pretty... How about this? Any offers for who would buy? Because I read the start and it said no reproduction. I was like, this is a bit naughty.
Interesting. I was taking notes.
How about this? If someone is willing to pay $100 for a Seth Godin book written by me in my handwriting, I'll do the whole fucking thing. Hi at thedailytalkshow.com.
But next episode, you'll be talking about how to up your hourly rate. This will take 50 hours.
That'll be fun.
No,
it's a good challenge.
I love you losing money.
It's a good challenge over the week.
I don't like you losing our business money, but I like you personally losing funds from stupid bets that you come up.
Straight from the ING.
Where that woman who got the free stickers, somewhere over in the States.
Oh yes,
She didn't.
yes.
She didn't get the $50.
No.
Someone with the toenail, no
Still,
$50, and now $100. I reckon someone will buy this. I want someone to buy
$100. The whole book, handwritten.
Yeah.
Before you know it, I'm going to have Mr. 97 on the case, being like, mate, how many pages did you do? I can't fucking do this alone.
Do you think there could, like an Airtasker-esque site, you could actually
It'd be pretty
have it
psychopathic,
done?
I think.
Yeah.
I'm happy just to write it. I can barely read my own writing, so that's one.
What would you pay for a manifesto? Not a manifesto, but like the original. Say if Seth Godin
Like
wrote a book,
the manuscript.
yeah,
Like
that
the
he
original.
hand wrote. What would you pay for that? And would you buy it?
If it was like an auction or whatever,
Yeah.
$1,000
$1,000.
for Seth's.
You'd
This is
actually
marketing. I'd
part
spend
with
$1,000. Yeah.
You can put it on Afterpay, and it's
No,
10
it's just-
grand. Would you get it on Afterpay?
No, I'm not a fucking idiot. It's a Daily Talk Show. Hi, thedailytalkshow.com. We'll put this video up as well.
Yeah,
There's a team.
somewhere breaking down that wall. Hey, Ruskies.
G'day, everyone. That wasn't even me winking. That was just my eye. Have a good one. Catch ya. It's a Daily Talk Show.